Hey, welcome to Audio listeners. We're all about breaking down the best ideas from great books.
Want to learn from all those amazing books out there, but you just can't find the time?
That's exactly what we do. We pull the key ideas from the best books on growth and motivation.
So you can boost your personal growth, gain powerful knowledge, and find that daily motivation for free.
Here's the cool part. Every book is a complete playlist, so you can learn from start to finish.
So go check out the playlist section. You're going to find something that helps for sure.
And hey, if you like what we're doing, do us a favor and hit that like button.
You're not going to want to miss what's next, so make sure you subscribe for the latest books.
And one last thing, what book should we cover next? Let us know right down in the comments.
All right, let's dive in. We're about to tackle a huge idea about money, one that might flip everything you've been taught on its head. It's not your salary that builds real wealth, it's your assets. And to really get what that means, we need to talk about McDonald's. And trust me, it has nothing to do with hamburgers.
So picture this. It's 1974. Ray Kroc, the guy who made McDonald's a global empire, is giving a talk to a bunch of super sharp MBA students at the University of Texas. Afterwards, they all go to a nearby bar to have a few beers. So Kroc is sitting there with these future titans of industry, and he looks around and asks them what seems like a ridiculously simple question. Now, if you were in that room, what would you say?
Of course, the students kind of chuckled. They figured he was just messing with them. After a second, one of them finally calls out the obvious answer, right? He says, "Ray, come on, everybody knows you're in the hamburger business." Kroc lets out a little laugh, takes a beat, and then he drops the bomb. He tells them the real secret to his empire. And that one sentence, well, that's the core of what we're talking about today. The huge difference between your job and your business. And he wasn't kidding. The franchises, sure, they sold the burgers, but Kroc's actual business was grabbing the prime real estate underneath every single one of those golden arches. The result of that strategy is just staggering. Today, McDonald's is the single largest real estate owner in the world, controlling some of the most valuable corners on earth. That story just perfectly sets up this next part. You have to understand the difference between your profession and your business. For most of us, we think they're the same thing, but they're absolutely not. And this really gets to the heart of the problem, This quote says it all. So much financial struggle comes from one simple fact. People spend their entire lives working hard to build someone else's business, not their own. So check this out. This slide breaks it down perfectly. On one side, you've got your profession. That's your job, right? It's what you do to earn money. It's all about your income. But on the other side, that's your business. That's what you own. That's your asset column. And that's where true wealth is built. See, when we confuse the two, we end up spending our best years and our best energy making other people rich. We make our boss rich. We make the government rich through taxes. And we make the bank rich through loans and mortgages. We're minding everyone's business but our own. Okay, so how do you actually do this? How do you start minding your own business? Well, the answer is pretty simple to say, but it requires a total shift in how you think. You have to focus on your assets. And this is where the big mindset shift happens. Most people are just focused on getting a bigger paycheck, right? They're looking at their income. But the wealthy, they're playing a different game. They are obsessed with their asset column. They're just quietly, constantly buying things that make them more money. So what are we even talking about when we say a real asset? Well, it's actually really simple. A real asset is anything that puts money into your pocket. That's it. It has value, it makes you money or goes up in value, and you can sell it if you need to. And here are some of the classics, right? You've got stocks, bonds, the usual suspects. But look at the others. Real estate that pays you rent, royalties from a book or a song you wrote, or, and this is key, a business that you own, but that doesn't need you to be there every single day. The goal is to own things that work for you. Okay, and this is probably the most important distinction we're going to make. We're taught to think of things like our house or our car as assets, but are they? They take money out of our pocket every month in payments, insurance, repairs. A real asset puts money in your pocket. I mean, just think about a brand new car. The second you drive it off that lot, poof, it can lose a quarter of its value just like that. Your banker might call it an asset, but it's not making you wealthier. It's doing the exact opposite. So you might be thinking, okay, does this mean I can never have any fun or buy nice things? And the answer is absolutely not. It's not about if, it's about how.
It's about letting your assets buy your luxuries for you. The wealthy followed this super simple 3-step playbook. First, they build up their asset column. Then, those assets start spitting out cash flow, income. And then, and only then, they use that money to buy the fun stuff. The assets buy the boat, not their 9-to-5 job. This slide just nails the difference. On one side, you have the common way, taking on debt, working harder and harder just to afford that luxury. On the other side, you have the rich mindset. You build a money-making machine, your asset column, and it just hands the luxury to you. So a luxury becomes something totally different. It's not just an impulse buy. It's a reward. It's a trophy that proves you were smart enough to build a system that could pay for it without you breaking a sweat. All right, let's bring this all home. The entire strategy, everything we've talked about, it all comes down to one powerful, simple command that you can literally start acting on today. This is the key takeaway right here. You don't have to quit your job. No way. Keep your profession, keep that income flowing. But you have to take a piece of that income and start building your own business on the side by buying real assets. And if you want a really cool way to think about this, try this on. Every single dollar you put into your asset column is like hiring a little employee. An employee who works for you 24/7, never calls in sick, never complains, and can keep working for your kids and even their kids. And that brings us right back to that same question Ray Kroc asked all those years ago. But this time, it's for you. You know what your profession is. That's the easy part. But what is your business? What does your asset column actually look like, and what's your next move to build it?